Hello, hello. Welcome to day 19 of our 19 days of June. We have made it to the final day of this particular live stream series, but as I've been saying all along, it's just a new foundation that we're operating from. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy to be here. I am extra happy because it is my birthday today, which is partly why I like celebrating in June. The other part is I rebranded my business in June 4 years ago. So it just feels like a good celebratory month. And I want to bring mindfulness into that practice because I wouldn't be me if I didn't. And as long as it makes sense, there is always a lesson in what we can bring from life into our practices. And today's practice in honor of celebration, I guess I want to say, in honor of celebration, we are practicing the mindfulness of appreciation. So, this is something that I've learned from my coach, shout out Serena Hicks, and it has changed how I approach a lot of things. And that is celebrations and appreciations. I bring this into every meeting that I hold, not someone else's meetings, but if I hold a meeting, if I'm facilitating or hosting a meeting, I bring this in. I bring this into coaching. Every coaching session that I sit down to with clients or mentoring session that I sit down to, we start with this. We start with celebrations and appreciations, and it is such a mindful way to it's not bypassing, the reality of things, but it is just giving ourselves like that brain check of there's always going to be something to appreciate, if not celebrate, that's okay, but to appreciate, there is always going to be something. So let's go into then, the conversation, if it's a hard conversation or an emotional one, or if shit's going down or whatever it is, let's then go into the conversation knowing that we already know that there is so much to appreciate. It works with our brain chemistry, makes a big difference. And that's what we're going to be doing here today. So I'll take you through, it won't be anything complicated, but there will be prompts of what can you appreciate in this moment? What can you appreciate about this? So, really, we're just going to go through a bit of like a body breath scan. It'll be a bit of a hybrid as mindfulness tends to be. Just noticing what is there to appreciate here about this. And I don't want you to feel pressure to feel gratitude. Gratitude can sometimes feel inaccessible, but if you practice just noticing what you can appreciate, it means that there's so much more that we can actually acknowledge. Whereas gratitude seems to be held for the things that we think are only good things. Whereas appreciation, we don't have to like the thing or what's going on with the thing in order to acknowledge that we might appreciate it. So um, imagine you have like a sore foot. You don't have to like that there's pain there. You don't have to like that there's something that you need to deal with, but you can still drop into appreciation of, oh, I really appreciate that my feet get me places, that my feet have literally weathered so well for me so far. So, just it seems really simple that it gets dismissed a lot. But that's why we're bringing it back because, as we know, the simplicity is where it's at, not all the complicated, fancy things alone. So let's get started. Safety first, as always. So if you're driving or doing anything else that requires your attention, please do that. Focus on that. And we will just get started. So take a deep breath in, long breath out. Just a short moment of practice here this morning. And notice, let's start with your feet. Noticing your feet, noticing any sensation, whether it's cold or warm or sweaty, or any pain or not pain. Just notice any sensation and just practice asking yourself, how can I appreciate my feet? What do, better yet, what do I appreciate about my feet if you have feet? And then to your knees, notice sensation, and then ask yourself, what do I appreciate about my knees? And then if you have trouble, bring it to what can I appreciate? But start with what do I appreciate? It might already be there. Then bring it to your hips. Notice sensation around your hips and ask yourself, what do I appreciate about my hips? What can I appreciate about my hips? And then to your torso, sensation in your torso. What do I appreciate about my torso? It can be what seems like the most random responses ever, but if you can appreciate it, acknowledge it. Not faking it till we make it, but we're just noticing what can I appreciate about my torso? And then to your shoulders. What do I appreciate about my shoulders? Or what can I appreciate about my shoulders? And then hands, what do I appreciate about my hands? What can I appreciate about my hands? Notice any sensation along with it. And then your head, inside and around your head, notice sensation, anything that might be there, anything that might be coming up, even your thoughts can be your mind. But what do I appreciate about my head, my brain, my mind? What can I appreciate about it? And then, if you are able to, and it is safe for you to take a deep breath in, maybe wiggle out, wiggle shoulders, arms, flick hands, or shake legs if you're standing, whatever it is, give yourself a bit of a wiggle. Exhale. Good job. Genuinely good job. You just practiced in the simplest of ways. And the more we practice something, the easier it becomes to access it. And appreciation is really one of those things that is an all rounder, really helpful practice. It doesn't mean you need to like the thing, it doesn't mean you need to want it to stay the same, but can you appreciate it? So, thank you guys so much for joining me for these 19 days. It really has been a joy and a delight and a really lovely practice to drop in with you all as well. So it's so nice to have had this time together. If you are wanting more one on one focus in private coaching or private containers or training for groups, I specialize in embodied leadership training. So I have the Embodied Leaders Academy that I bring to workplaces, teams, groups, as well as one on one private coaching and VIP days. So there are different options. There are a couple of different options depending on what suits you. Please book a time to chat via the link in the caption if you are interested in finding out more. And I can let you know based on what it is that it seems like you need as well. Otherwise, keep enjoying this new foundation. Come back to these at any time you need. You can do it linearly from 1 to 19 again. You can pick your favorites and just use it as a practice, as a reminder. But just keep doing these little things, even in your busy, busy lives. I understand. This is why this last one felt really important to be the last one. It was always going to be the last one of appreciation, because we can do that in literally every scenario, even if we hate it. So, with that, have a lovely day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Reach out if you have any queries about working together, and I will talk to you guys all soon.